Hi guys, I'm Crystal Sky, and today we're going to be taking a look at these Faber-Castell watercolor crayons. Now I bought these, if you guys saw in my last haul, I bought these at Hobby Lobby for a little over, I think $2, $3 for this whole set. It came with this brush. This brush is garbage. Absolute garbage. As soon as I'm done making this video, I'm going to throw it out. That's how bad it is. I stuck it in the water for the first time. See the bristles there? I laid it flat after I was done using it. The bristles are falling out. Like absolutely falling out. So there's no brand on it. The handle seems to be fine, but the bristles are awful. There's a bristle already. I've used this once. The first time I used it, I stuck it in my glass of water here. I rinsed it around a little bit, I pulled it out, and all of the bristles were floating in the water. It was just completely, the whole water jar was so dense with bristles, bristle runoff and like little pieces of bristles in the water that I had to throw it out. You know what I mean? I had to toss the water and clean out the jar. And that was just the first time I stuck it into the water. So this is garbage, absolute garbage. I'm throwing that out. Throwing that out immediately. Now let's take a look at the watercolor crayons. I did some swatches here. This is a little bit of a smaller workspace than I'm used to, so give me just a second. I've been using these, and you can see them here. What do you guys think? So these are the swatches of all the colors. I used white and orange up here to show off what the white could do with the water, and then the water is in every single one of them. The crayon and then the water, and they do almost disappear nearly completely if you put enough water on it almost immediately. I also did this girl. It's a very Jane Davenport type style that I felt like going for with these watercolor crayons. Trying to get them up on the table. It's a really small space I'm working on. So these are the crayons. These are all the colors. They work really well. I've never worked with watercolor crayons before. This next piece that I did, this here, again, very Jane Davenport-y. These are different watercolors, but this here and this tree here. I took my brush, my favorite brush, my Winsor & Newton Cotman brush, and I dipped some water in, and then I just touched the top to the crayon, to the top of the crayon, and then I used it, and I love the effect, the very light pastel-y effect that they get. I layered the greens on top of each other. They layered really nicely. I layered some shadow on them, layered again very nicely. Very, very happy with this set. So let's take a look. Let's try, I'm not sure what I want to do. I do want to show you guys some stuff that it can do. We're gonna do, let me draw just a little square here. I don't want to go too overboard. So we're just gonna work in this finite area here. Can you guys see that? It looks very square to me, but to you guys it might not. We'll have to wait a little bit for that to dry. But for now, let's just work maybe like a landscapey type thing. I haven't done a landscape with these yet. So we'll see. So I'm adding water. You could use them as crayons, but the watercolorness of them is very pretty. I'm a fan, definitely. So I'm adding the crayon in the area that I want them. And then I'm going over top of them with the water. And the pigment just explodes. Explodes out there. The blue might not be the best to show. Might not be the best to show. As you can see, the pigment is physically moving on the paper. You can see that pretty well. All right. So let's check the drying time on that. Should be fairly quick, in my opinion. So I tried to use very little water. It's very wet right now. Let's see if we can get a good base going here. I'm not exactly sure what kind of base I want though. Not planned out. They are labeled with the colors pretty fairly. Let's take a look at the crayons themselves while we wait for that to dry. So it's got a Faber-Castell, it's got a paper type of coating here. That looks like it's falling off. Again, I've only used them a little bit, so it's weird that they're falling off. They're kind of triangle shaped. They don't roll. They don't roll at all. They're triangle shaped. So that's good. They got the color name, and they got a little bit of a design here. And then there's a big point here where you can take the color off or not. You know. So that's good. Let's take some Vermilion. It's nice. They do have a couple of skin colors, skin tones in this set. We're going to take the Vermilion. We're just going to draw a base type of color. They've got ochre. We're going to have maybe a little path here. We're just drawing like almost an outline. I want to see how this will work. Like a path right there. Maybe we'll do, so I can actually layer these fairly well. Let's see if we can get like a mountain going back here. Kind of Bob Ross-esque happening here. Not intentional, but it happened, so. And then we'll get some green. I like to mix my yellow and green when I do forests. So let's maybe, ooh, you know what I can add? There's a dark gray. It's pretty gray. We can add that to make these misty. Right? Make them misty mountains. In the misty mountains. Alright, and let's see what happens when we add water to that. Those mountains up there. I want to see if they'll mix. Mix and gray out there. Yeah, the color, you know. There's still some color sediment, definitely, where I laid it down. And I actually think that added this cool little mountain effect here. Like, almost like it's behind those. I can also go back in and add definition, if I'd like. You know what I mean? Let's see if I can add some definition to that. Now it's very grayish. Let me see if I can maybe add a little bit more gray and then a little bit more blue here. To kind of signify that that one's in the back more. And we're not really going to touch that blue line that I just added. But we are going to touch that gray in the back a little bit. See if we can get it to be more misty. Yeah, kind of exploded it everywhere, right? Didn't really sit it. Nice. There we go. That. Adding some water to the background helps. Still, you know, it's not super defined. Alright, let's try the path here. Cleaned off my brush. That ochre is nice. Of course, it's all gonna be changed. Now we're gonna do wet on wet here. I want to see. I want to add a little bit of brown to this path here. And as you can see, I'm laying down the color, and it's not nearly as crayon-like as the when I laid it down on a dry surface, because this is watercolor paper. So it's almost like it took on a more watercolory feel. Add some ochre to the bottom here. Alright, this is still not super wet, so we'll try and add like trees and stuff here. Not sure how these trees will come out. I'm adding some darker trees here. Just to create like kind of a line here. And then let's add some yellow, because there's sun, right? Again, it's a little bit damp, so it is coming, kind of being placed down like watercolor. Let's see if I can I'm going to take right off the crayon here, because I know it's going to be light. Sorry, that was an awful noise. And I want to bring that down here, just to like move the sky down a little bit. move the sky a little bit down in this section so it doesn't look so empty there. Okay, now we'll mix these colors. I have another lighter green that I can also use here if I would like. But I'm going to use that for a little bit lower, hopefully. That's the goal. Goals. Okay. Kind of looks like a river now. Maybe we can work with that. I'm not very good with landscapes, but I like doing them. Even though I'm awful at them. So I'm trying to put more pigment on this area here and it's just not taking. But that's fine, right? What we can do when this wet dries here is we can put some kind of reflections in it. Alright, let's take this green here. See if we can add it and maybe add a light, because it adds a really nice light wash, you can see, to that area there. And I can go back and add details and such. I'd really like for this here to be more defined. Just a little bit more, and I don't want the crayon effect, so I wet it. Let's see if we can, yeah, it's a little better. Just want to be those mountains to be a little more defined. See if we can kind of gradiate that color out a little bit. A little bit too harsh on the edges. Alright, I think that looks better, in my opinion. My humble opinion. Alright, let me take, kind of actually looks like there's green running into it already. Let me take a little bit of green and just kind of add on top a little bit of green there. Don't want to be too wet, so. And then I'll add a little bit more blue. There we go. I'm gonna add a little bit more blue once that dries all the way. Just a little bit in the center section there. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna try and add some little tufts of a different color in this kind of patchy way to try and get like a different colored grass. This grass isn't always the same color. Alright, what do you guys think? I kind of like it actually. What do you guys think? So that's my little review of these. I really like them. I don't have anywhere to store them. I'm not happy with this packaging that they came in. I wish they came in packaging that was easier to store and more reusable. But I got it for a couple bucks. So I mean, for a couple of bucks, the watercolor quality is really, really good. They're really easy to use. And there's a whole bunch of different techniques you can use that make really cool everything. There's a skin color, which is nice, like a regular skin color. There's two different types of skin colors, really. And there's a whole bunch of mixing on the paper you can do, which is fantastic. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.